What's good, people? Welcome back to Art Brands and Bullshit. This episode, we talked to Ysheso, dope producer DJ based out of Atlanta. This episode, we talked about the impacts that COVID had on the Atlanta scene, developing her brand over the last 10 years, and being intentional with the events that she throws. Let's get into it. Tiffany, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
And yeah, thanks for thinking of me to sit down and chat. I know
Yeah.
you know a lot of people, so I definitely don't take it lightly.
You
So I
too.
appreciate it.
It's so crazy. We're so interconnected with so many people, and I
Yeah.
guess we're the one of the first generations to kind of step into that space where
Yeah.
thousands and thousands of people over time
Hmm.
stay connected, whether we're like in your phone or through social media or whatever.
Yeah.
And it is very interesting to think about like managing relationships at scale like that.
Hmm.
And not just thinking about it from like a social media clout, like you're
Yeah,
following whatever, but like actually
exactly.
intentionally managing relationships and like keeping connection with people.
Yeah. A
Do you
whole
find
nother ball game for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Do you find that like how do you feel about that? Like that like connection with that many people?
Honestly, I don't know if I think it's me at the core. Like, I am an intentional person, like, no matter what I'm doing. So, I literally have a running list of just in my mind, like, hey, I want to chat with this person. If it's like a new connection, I want to take a minute to say, hey, thanks for connecting, really appreciate it. Like, I want to peep what they're doing, call it out, be like, I'm interested in what you're doing. Like, I see that you're doing XYZ. Like, that's super dope. Like, where are you from? I feel like every connection that I make, no matter how big or small, I do put in that effort to at least acknowledge hey, we have made a connection. Whether I'm meeting you, whether you just hey, you just killed your set. I love that shit. And they go off
Yeah.
on, a complimenting thing. I'm like, no, actually thank you for taking the time to tell me that, because you could have just went along your day, went along your night, never said anything. And I would have hoped that I made that impact on you during the set. So I think me managing those relationships, it's I thrive doing that. I'm just kind of tunnel visioned on the connections, because that's how you said, that's how we can collaborate, that's how we can grow, that's how things stay fresh. And I get bored really easily too, so I can't just stay keep doing the same thing over and over again. And
Totally.
I think, being intentional with those connections and having new convos, even if it doesn't go anywhere, if it doesn't I may never see that person again, or I might not see them for a while. It's the intention behind the convo keeps things fresh, for me, and keep things kind
Yeah.
of moving and motivated. So I find it kind of just a part of my flow, and how I've been kind of running this, myself as a entity, and my projects and everything. It's I feel like you have to, lead with that intention with everything you do, and communicating with people that, are in your world, helps with that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so just thinking about the getting started, just with whether it's your artist project or
Mhm.
like event series. Well, number one, are you from Atlanta originally?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm from Atlanta. Yeah, born and raised here. I've been here my whole life, which I feel I'm a rare breed in a way. I feel like so many people that I meet are from somewhere else. I feel like Atlanta is the melting pot of the South. People say that about New York for the northern part of the states, but I really feel like there's so many people from so many different places here. So it's cool to have my I'm from here, been here, I've
Mhm.
seen a lot of different things. So yeah, I'm definitely happy and proud to represent, Atlanta when I can. And I love the city for sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's super cool. Yeah, and I know I don't know the exact timeline, but Atlanta wasn't always the metropolis that it now
Yeah,
is. Like it definitely
definitely.
when did it scale in the 90s. Was that like 80s, 90s?
That sounds about right, honestly. Right
Okay.
around there. And I feel like, yeah, just that happened and then kind of building on. And honestly, that I feel like the pandemic, there is a shift that happened after. And it's honestly like the South, like we were outside. I'm not gonna lie, at least Atlanta was. It's like there were restrictions on certain things, and we
Mhm.
did chill out for a little bit, but like
Mhm.
there weren't like the same restrictions like down here that there was like up north, you know? It's like, yeah, you had to wear a mask going into Publix or like maybe Kroger, but like people were outside. Like we really tried it. You know, there were venues that shut down that took it really serious. Like we lost some staples like down here, like music room, sound table. Like I had some of my first gigs like at those places. So while we
Mhm.
did have some closing downs that really were like hurt the house community, a lot came out of it too. It was like new spots or like older spots that were like open to house curation and new promoters. It was like this new wave of people that were like, that was scary, what the hell just happened? Like we lived through that. Like let's do what we want to do and like let's like not apologize about it, you know? So I think shit things happened, you know, there was a shift for sure.
Yeah, it's so funny. And Nashville is pretty much the same thing. Like,
Yeah.
I would always talk to my brother who was up in Chicago through the pandemic, and hearing the experience difference of like him up in
Crazy.
Chicago versus Nashville.
It's insane.
It was a, kind of polar opposites. And to your point,
Literally.
like certain things, like culture was able to still happen.
Yeah.
It was a bit more loose, and it allowed things to continue to move a bit, but it
Mhm.
inevitably created this shift in Nashville too, to where it is like coming out of it's like a whole different scene than
Yeah.
pre-pandemic, which is pretty crazy to think
It
about.
is crazy. And I had this is a random fact, but my first New York like gig was during the pandemic, which was crazy. It was literally like they were trying to come out of it, and it was when people were still required to sit down and have food at bars and clubs. Like you couldn't even dance. So what a tease. My first set, I get booked. And I go up there and everyone's having to sit down. They're getting yelled at for getting up and dancing. Like, what a crazy time to say, like, hey, I went up there and played my first set in New York. And like now obviously it's different, but like I will never forget that in my life. Like, holy shit, like that is such a different experience than like you said, what we were doing.
Gosh, you're bringing me back. We had like an outdoor. It was like when the pandemic was like still, people
Yeah.
people up in the East Coast would have been
Yeah.
would have been so mad at this party that we threw, but it was to us it was like, yeah, we're outside,
We're outside.
we're chilling, the weather's nice,
Yeah.
like nobody's dying.
No one.
The We threw this event that like it started where everyone had to be sitting down, whatever, but by the end of it, everyone
Mhm.
was just lit, and it was fine. No one
It
got
was
COVID.
fine. Yeah.
And it was really interesting to see the not to like downplay the severity of it,
Yeah, 100%.
but at the same time, it was kind of this eye-opening experience of like, okay, if I'm within 20 feet of somebody, or even
Yeah.
like within 2 feet of somebody, that doesn't guarantee that I'm going to get COVID. And
Right.
I think it kind of allowed people to relax in a time that was everyone was freaking out, you know?
You know, we're all going through it in different ways, you know, but I'm
Totally.
glad we're on the other side of it now and we're like, okay, like that happened, we survived. We made it. Like, please, please let's not live through another one like
Let's
while we're
not.
on Earth, you know, I would love that. So, fingers
Totally.
crossed.
Totally. Totally. Okay, so you're from Atlanta.
Yeah,
Do you remember like starting to produce music? Well, did you start DJing or producing first?
DJing.
DJing, cool.
Yeah, so yeah, I full sent like really, it was like very natural. Like anyway, and for me, I've loved music like my whole life. Like I played piano growing up, and I'm
Cool.
Middle Eastern. I was born in the States, but my parents are both Lebanese. So I would like, as a younger person, like go over visit either Middle East, like that area of the world, and house music or EDM, I guess in general, was so big. So I was like hearing like deep house, catching like David Guetta, Avicii, like all these people
Mm,
just like it was just like in the air at a young age, like in my early teens. I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, and I liked it fine.
yeah,
And I have like, bought all these CDs and went through that and then, loved it at a young age, continued playing piano, like grew up kind of just listening to like a bunch of different things. Like I was always that friend making like CDs, making
yeah,
playlists, like the curation aspect of like, holy, these songs are great. Like I'm downloading all this stuff illegally on LimeWire. And they're on my iPods. Like I'm having all the iPods. Like, how can I curate for my friends? So yeah, the CDs, all that stuff. Fast forward to college, I'm like, going out and about to parties, and I see like a little controller at like a party that I went to. And I was like, obviously understood the concept of DJing like before that, but I'm like, this guy's having a time. I could probably do this and also like give them like maybe not better tunes, but I could also do this. Like this seems like it could be fun to do in college.
for sure.
So then I bought my own rig, my own setup, and then started practicing at home. Just
Cool.
like literally just bought it, practicing. I started doing, I kind of started DJing like just everything. I was like, I'm just gonna go open format and just like try out like and see what I like. And then I landed on like kind of deep house. I started out with like mostly minimal, actually, like minimal deep tech is
Okay,
what I
cool.
started out with.
Yeah.
And I kind of started doing like Facebook Lives like at the time. I was like just at home, like
Shit.
playing. People kind of got wind of it like through my other college friends and they kind of plugged me in with local like collectives here. We're like,
Cool.
there's this girl, this is her style if you're ever looking. So it was kind of internal referrals like from the get-go of like, there's this chick, she's on some minimal like deep tech stuff and it kind of matched with some what the crews were doing at the time, the bigger crews that were doing, and I kind of started getting booked that way. And then 10 years later, that seems, it's crazy to say that out loud when I'm like, how the heck has it been a decade? um
Crazy.
it's crazy.
Yo, if you're feeling what we're talking about, you should be in our Discord. It's called the Artist Evolve Community. It's a place where like-minded individuals, creatives, forward-thinking people come together to talk about their creative process, what they're dealing with growing their brands, and everything in between. We've got Q&As, we've got workshops, we've got industry professionals who tap in, and best of all, it's free. So hit the link below and check it out.
But yeah, DJ first. But then like 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, I really want to dive into, production and like get to know that part out of me. And I definitely have a long way to go. It's like a forever
Mhm.
learning journey, but I've been able to, have songs, release songs, have people hear, those parts of me. And it's been really special the last like 4 years with that.
Cool.
And then my here and there kind of event throwing project, it'll be 3 years. It was 2 years this year. So yeah, about a little over 2 years of doing that. So I feel like a good kind of rounded creative, but definitely DJ first with all of that.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, it's always interesting, it's obviously one or the other where some people start producing and then vice versa. And I think there is something to DJing first and really like honing in on your palette of like
Yeah.
what you like and what you don't like.
Yeah.
And feeling those feelings of like dropping these tunes and like this
Yeah.
works at this time, this doesn't, and then having that kind of define, okay, now this is what I want
Yeah.
to produce.
Exactly. No, I think it really helped me because now I'm like, okay, well, I started off like minimal, like that's not all I like love to play anymore. Like I have a kind of like a nice range of things that I really enjoy, like deep house. I can go minimal, but I also love my like disco house, like, Detroit, ghetto tech. Like there's so many
Mhm.
different little pockets that I can like dive into. Just give me the space, give me the right space and time and like I can do that. So I like to agree with your point. It's like it helped me, have my palette, know what is me, what, and I continue to build on that. But it helps in the studio too. It's like, okay, I have like clear direction, and like I can kind of tunnel vision. I'm like, the next couple of releases, I want it to be like, deep house like focus. The next couple of releases, I want it to be a little harder hitting,
Mhm.
type of tunes. And I think diving deep into the DJing helped me like even discover like all these different types of sounds. I'm like this ever-ending list of different like subgenres in this umbrella, that I'm under. So definitely agree with like your point there.
Yeah, it's a really great shot. The discovery of what's available as subgenres and call it vibes, whatever, like
Yeah.
that you can test the waters and kind of broaden your palette too before stepping in a certain direction.
Yeah.
I don't want to gloss over it. There's not enough ghetto tech. I,
There's not.
there needs to be more of it.
Yeah, it's so good. It's crazy, honestly. It blows my mind. I just don't understand. I can't even like wrap my mind around a lot
Mhm.
of it. And speaking of ghetto tech, DJ Godfather
Oh yeah,
like was just here like literally last weekend. He did like a speaker series at this nearby club, and he was like, yeah, he's like, they call him like the inventor of ghetto tech. And
yeah,
but like even though he doesn't like to call it ghetto tech or to be called that, like that's just like is, and he like
that's
always like jokes about it. But
yeah.
yeah, just like his influence on that sound in like Detroit, and because he like also scratches and he's all vinyl,
Mm.
and it's just like crazy stuff. And then he played like the wildest like ghetto tech like set for 1 hour. He blew my mind. I didn't even know how to like comprehend like what I was hearing. So it was cool to just like see this legend like in such an intimate space and know like the influence that he had like then and now, and like kind of the reach he had internationally to kind of like blow that sound up like outside of Detroit and like the States. So yeah, more
Yeah,
of that, more ghetto tech, because it's really cool. It's very fascinating, honestly.
totally. Yeah, there's I hope there's like a few indicators of this like possibly happening.
Yeah.
There's like there's some Detroit rappers that are hip to that sound, but
Yeah.
are like 2025 like kind of scam rappers in Detroit,
Yeah. Totally.
and that crossover is like
Crazy.
crazy to me. Yeah. Like if we could
It's
bring
so
back
crazy.
ghetto tech and bring it to the trap,
Yeah. That's insane. Yeah, it blows my mind. It was a cool combo to have, just like be in there with him, and he has so much history, but it's pretty
that's
cool.
so cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And he's so nice too. And like he looks like if you see like pictures of him, he's like, straight face, like elbows crossed. But like you talk to him and he's like a teddy bear. Like he loves to talk about
Uh,
anything, especially if it's like anything about Detroit. I feel like most people you meet from Detroit are like die hard Detroit. Like they're repping Detroit like all day, every day. And he's like that dude, but he's super nice. So
yeah.
yeah.
Uh, there's I saw DJ Assault out in LA,
Oh,
and
nice.
just like got to chat with him for a quick second. It was
Yeah.
same vibe, like you know, he's playing some like pretty gutter stuff, whatever, but he's just like the nicest guy, whatever.
So sweet. And I
Yeah,
love when that happens, when you meet artists that you really like admire, and or like, you really listen to their music for a while, and they're actually like super nice and like super cool and just like normal humans, like down to earth, and they're just doing it like for good reason. So I love when that happens.
I know, because I'm sure it's happened where the opposite, where it's
Yeah.
you meet someone and you're like so excited to like chat with them, and they're like the
Yeah.
biggest dick ever. Like,
You're like, it's more effort to not be like nice. It really is. It physically, mentally takes up so much more effort to just not be like a nice human being. Like it's just a lot of mental space. So,
right,
just be kind. We're all just trying to like make some music, play some music, meet people, make people move. Like I don't know, like that's all we're trying to do.
right. That
So,
does it feel like certain aspects of dance music have kind of gone too far, or like it's become
mhm.
more than what it was intended to be?
Yeah, I feel like with social media and I think for me, Instagram is like all my mind can like wrap my head around of like, okay, let me just like be on there, let me remain present, let me let people know like when I'm releasing stuff, where I'm playing. And I think there's levels to like marketing yourself on social media and like letting people know what you've been up to. And then there's this whole like influencery like element to it
Mm.
that doesn't seem as like genuine as I want it to be. And it's like it takes out like I had to work so hard, honestly, like to get to where I'm at right now. Like now and 10 years ago, like I've been putting in work and I feel like times have changed and I don't want to sound like some like old ass grandma like in this scene, but it's like the way that I go about my music journey and like the things that I do are different than like maybe newer DJs that it's like very influencery. Like let me go up there and like play some, it's not about the music sometimes I feel with some of the newer, DJs or how kind of social media or like TikTok and like all these things are used. It's
Mm.
like maybe how many people like your reel or are in the background in your
Mhm.
whatever video you're trying to promote. It feels like maybe people aren't doing it for the love of music. Maybe it's more for the love of how many likes can I get or how many, how, do people think this like video is popular versus like, oh my God, I listened to your set and it changed my life. Like it made me cry. Like I remember that forever. Like I've seen you here. Like it just, I feel like sometimes it takes the personal like connection like out of it when you're just so focused on the trends on, TikTok or Instagram to just be relevant, stay relevant to people. So just like finding a balance, I think, is like so key and so important to still be you, but still use social media because we do have, and I think it is powerful and
Mhm.
amazing in its way. It's just like how you use it and how you market yourself, I think, is what can differentiate you from maybe newer DJs that, are coming in and just using it a little bit different.
Yeah. Yeah, it seems like it very quickly, whether it's like cloud or profits or whatever, it can turn into
Yeah,
this other thing that, to your point, is it gets away from the core of the music and the
exactly.
experience. You bring up, like, these, like, impactful moments that ultimately come from, like, the environment and truly the music.
Hmm.
You brought up, like, you, like, interview people prior to your
Yeah.
events and that sort of thing. Are there other ways that you're intentional about, like, motivating the the vibe or, like, the priority at your events?
Yeah, I think yeah, definitely the interviews are so like huge for me because, as someone who's been going out and, different collectives that are you've been hosting events like long before I started doing it. I was like, yeah, I'll go and I'll do my research, my own research on the artists. Like, okay, if I've heard of them or not, I'm like, okay, let me see what this artist has been up to, before I go, so I can kind of get a good feel of what to expect. And, a lot of it you get just like, hey, here's the flyer. Maybe you'll get the set times and just kind of like pull up and there's like maybe some, that personal touch was like missing. So that's why I wanted to do the podcast so you could get to know the artist before showing up. But I
Yeah.
also think about, for me, like I run my project on my own. Like I'm a all in one, like one woman show. Like I do the bookings, I do like the space securing. I pull up. What I don't do is do all the lifting. So I do shout out to my homies that have, nice upper body strength that can come and help me move in stuff if I need to, if it's more of a DIY situation. But, running it on my own, it definitely is a lot, but it's meaningful to me because when I do kind of post like, hey, I have these events coming through, like I'm personally reaching out to a lot of people, which is like super hard to do. Like, because it's
Mhm.
mostly just kind of like, paying for ads or like marketing or maybe just, blasting out invites like on Facebook or whatever. There's so many ways to do it or like, texts, like marketing texts and campaigns and all of that is like super great. And I have used that, but I still really love the whole like, hey, what's up? Like, have this event coming up. I try to really make it personal. And I'm not doing like events monthly, so I can space it out. So it's like, okay, when I first started, I was doing it maybe more frequent or like kind of the first half of the year, I was like, okay, I'm gonna prioritize some here and there bookings. And then the second half, I want to dive into like why she's so and like, that.
Mhm.
But I think me spacing it out and it being like a once a quarter, twice a quarter allows me to, be more intentional in those kind of personal invites. And I think it goes a long way. It's like, hey, I have this artist coming out, just dropped an interview. Here's some like dope songs I like by them. Like, just a heads up, this is what I have kind of coming along like in the pipeline. And I feel
Mm.
like people feel that because it's like a lot of people, I mean, even if they don't know the artist that I'm bringing, I've gotten feedback like the community trusts you. Like people trust you and they know like whoever you're going to bring, it took some time to like think about it to confirm it. It's intentional and we're going to
Mhm.
show up. We're going to pull up and we're going to listen even if we have no idea like who it is and if I'm putting people on. And that was like such a huge compliment, that someone like gave me. It was like an OG like in the scene here to hear like people trust you and that's why they pull up and they feel like it's a safe space. They feel like, you are all over this event. Like you can feel you in the walls of like, hey, like you really curated this. And that's all I want. It's like boutique curations, like dope artists in small venues and me just really all up in there. So I think that's helped kind of make it more intentional, and help people feel like it's a personal experience when they like come to some of my events.
Yo, if you're feeling this, hit the subscribe button. It helps us share the content, but more importantly, it helps us serve people like you. So thank you. I love it. I love it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think um as like dance music gets more more corporate,
Hmm.
more like profit centric in certain areas,
Yeah.
it seems like the path away from that is like the human element, the intention, the soul
Yeah.
of an event.
Yeah.
It seems like you can't really cut corners on that. You
You
can't like,
can't.
you have to do the work that you're talking about.
Yeah.
You have to be in the weeds, like making decisions, whether it's the aesthetic, whether it's the promo materials, whether it's like the actual experience itself.
Yeah.
Because you can't fake the why she's so vibe. You can't
You
like
really can't. Yeah.
you have to do that.
Yeah. A
Um,
100%. 100%. Because it's like I do this because I love it. I really do love it. And it's like I want to, continue to contribute to the culture. And I want to bring artists that have never played here before. And I want to have a memorable night. Like that's literally all I want. So I feel like people can feel that and they know that's just what it's about for me. It's not about profit. It's not about any of that. It's like pull up, you're going to be in a safe space and you're going to listen to some good music. And that's it. So
I love it.
yeah,
I love it. That's so cool.
for
All right,
sure.
so I want just especially being that you spent time in New York and
Yeah.
are very present in Atlanta.
Hmm.
What would you say the differences in the scenes are? Obviously, like maybe one's more developed than the other, but like
Yeah.
like a from like a vibe perspective, for lack of a better description, how would you
Yeah.
describe each of the scenes?
Yeah. Now, definitely, of course, New York is definitely more of a veteran in like in the house realm. And Atlanta definitely has grown a lot. Like as we were talking about, like I feel like there's so many more artists that want to come through here. There's a lot more collectives and venues. Like there's just a lot. So I'm really proud of what the city has going on and how much it's grown and it'll continue to grow. I
Totally.
think kind of the main differences between Atlanta and New York is just surely like the amount of people, like truly, like it is a massive place. So it's like here, if there's a couple collectives like throwing a party, you know, they might be successful. One might really suffer because there's just like purely not enough heads for the amount of things happening versus in New York, like you'll find like 100 things on resident advisor for one night. And I don't think, I mean, people might be stressing if it's like two bigger venues doing, something on the same night, but it's just surely, I feel like the amount of people really makes a difference. And just, yeah, just I feel like house music's like in the air there. Like it's an intertwined, it's in the bodegas, it's in like the restaurants are it's just like in the air, like music I feel like is really intertwined and like a lot of places, especially like in Brooklyn. That's where like a lot of the venues that I play have been at. But yeah, I just feel like it's not much of a, you know, not here that you have to like kind of educate and put people on, but there it is still kind of a newer, you know, genre that people are open to. I mean, we're in the South, we're in the, you know, hip hop like rap capital of like the world. And,
Mm,
you know, while, you know, house music or dance music and hip hop rap, I mean, there's a lot of history there. There's a lot of intertwining there, you know, from the get-go, like in the origination. I feel
yeah.
like, you know, it will take some more time here to, you know, continue to put people on the sound and to continue to like have people be open to checking out a dance music event, you know, and it's definitely a lot easier now to get that, you know, happening versus in New York. I feel like it's kind of like an understood thing. You know, it's like you think you know, and then you go there and you really don't, you know, and it's like people are putting you on when you thought you knew like a lot. It's like actually every time I go there, I'm like, oh, great, like cool art, new artists, like new venue. Like I just can't keep up. So I think, yeah, the sheer amount of people, just that the
Mm,
history of like house music, like in the city, they're definitely ahead of us in that regard. And I feel like people just understand the mission when they walk in the door. They hear house, they already know what's up. It's kind of, you know, expected, you know, where people are pulling up. So I think those
yeah.
are the main things, you know.
Yeah, I think it's really interesting. You're making me think about this because in Nashville we battle with a similar thing. Obviously, we're much more country leaning than rap, but it's a similar thing to where it's not the mainstream culture, and
Hmm.
there's a beauty to that because if people show up to it, they a lot of times really want to be there. But
Yeah.
from like like a financially sustainable or even just culturally sustainable
Yeah.
perspective, it's really hard to like make it work,
Hmm.
make it work consistently.
Yeah.
And you know, New York, to your point, there's what 9 million people there during the day or something.
Millions,
Yeah,
you
so
know.
there's a you know, couple hundred people are going to pull up no matter what.
Yeah, so it's just a little easier, but I think that's what makes like, you know, Atlanta and the South like, you know, beautiful in that way. It's like the people are pulling up, you know, you might have worked a little bit harder to get them to pull up, but I feel like, you know, it just keeps growing and that and it's a lot more personal because it's not as big. Like it's kind of like this knit community that you can like reach out and like actually like feel like you can touch someone a lot more personally than like okay, yeah, I can go play a set in New York to hundreds of people, but it's like they're doing, you know, it's not not that it's not personal. I think there are some advantages to having a newer community that you can see your direct impact and influence on because it's still in the growth and it's going to continue to grow and it will never be as big as a place, you know, like New York, surely because of the amount of people that can like fit in the cities that we're in. So I feel like there's a beauty to being a part of it, you know, in smaller cities that are growing like in that world because you can see directly how you're, you know, contributing to it.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. There's the feedback I always get from people when they come to play Nashville is that there's like kind of the community is tangible. Uh,
Yeah.
and I even feel it too. Like when I go to major markets and I'm coming back to Nashville,
Yeah.
there's like a certain warmth that you come back to that there's just a community felt there.
Exactly.
And so
A
I
100%. And your community is lucky to have you. Like Nashville is lucky to have you guys, you know,
oh
contributing, bringing great talent, like putting on for the city,
uh,
truly.
well, likewise.
Yeah.
You're doing your thing.
Thank you.
I wanted to say I think you've got some shows coming up. Uh
Yeah.
what do you got on the docket?
Let's see. Let me tell you some things I'm excited about that are coming up. So yeah, next weekend, actually, so this weekend I'm playing in Charlotte, for Pride. Really excited about that. It's crazy how different cities have different like Pride months. Like the general is June, and then Atlanta is in October, and Charlotte's in August. We're all just doing whatever we want at this point. So it'll be cool playing at Music Yard. I've played there a couple times.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I
music
love
is great.
yeah, I love Preston,
Yeah, shouts
love
out to Preston.
Domi, just like
Yeah.
great folks. So I'm gonna go play at Charlotte Pride this weekend. Next weekend, I'm doing an event with my project Here and There and another collective named Desires. We're bringing A-Line Umber. They're like a duo, kind of
Okay.
like indie electro. We're doing it at the Illuminarium, which you might have an Illuminarium near you, but it's gonna be insane. LED walls, like first time we've ever like done an event there, so it's gonna be pretty cool.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah,
That's
really excited. Really excited about that. Just like four walls of just like LED and a DJ booth somewhere in there. We're working that out, but I'm really pumped about those for sure.
sounds super tight. Yeah, the well, the indie electro vibe sounds
Crazy. It's like
yeah.
I can't even describe it. It's like indie, minimal, electro, all in one, and it's a live set. So things are gonna get out of hand for sure, but like in a good way.
Oh, I love that.
In
That
a good
sounds great.
way. But yeah, those are some Atlanta things. And then back in New York, end of September, I'm gonna play at Jupiter Disco, Razor and Tape, and Dead Letter Number Nine. So doing a quick little post birthday mini run. So it should be fun.
I love it. I love it. And then I'm assuming the releases are gonna keep coming as well.
Yes, I have a release. I don't know how much I can give away, but I have one coming out at the top of September. So I'll
Okay.
be working in some promo for that in the next coming weeks, kind of like teasing it in, but gonna be yeah, super excited about that. It's gonna be a 4-song EP
Oh, cool.
coming out on a label that I really have loved listening to, and a lot of my homies are on there. So excited about that.
Sweet.
So definitely be on the lookout for that. And yeah, I'll have some promo coming up in the next couple of weeks for it.
Awesome. 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 Well, yeah, so
Awesome.
nice to chat. I'm glad we
So
could
good to
hop on here.
chat.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Thanks for
Thanks for
taking
the
the
fun.
time.
Likewise. Likewise. Yeah. And hopefully we can get you back here to Nashville soon.
Anytime. Literally anytime. It's such a quick, it's such an easy drive. Anytime I'm down to come back and play it for you guys.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Well, again, so nice to chat with you. And if people want to follow you or check out more stuff, with Instagram, Spotify,
Yeah. Instagram, Spotify, SoundCloud, all Ysheso with an underscore at the end. So they'll be able to find me.
sweet, sweet, sweet. Well, Tiffany,
Awesome.
so nice to chat with you.
Nice chatting.
And we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. Thank you. Bye.